Adeshema anope ya mamunyina ache kase boa yesaka ewo adechinstroma so na yede ebremu yede free ship house Abeka Junction live Accra na yede ebrewo ebusiafo nyumako bia da Roma wo mo na aso asrama anope me de kase boy eba this way chocolate drink the ohia yesu share special ice mineral water special drinks best point savings and loans best assurance and best pension wo mo ni nyumako awaso asene ama anope kase boy yede ebremu midi ede akosia sapon se yebo ede era ensem nimu ede a Ghana mampanyi nana ado dankwa ekufo ado ede atu edwa se mame ama ata edu eye obi a wochro enwoma oye author ana oye writer na woche se mame nya de ebenya ne so bida ewo omanyimu esan se de na ositie no na oye sronko ewo na twero.
I am grateful for your life, your words, your care and love. I am grateful for this very moment. We shared an impossible, enduring, encompassing bond that squeezed a lifetime of loving and friendship into those afternoons and evenings. We said it all to each other. I love you, Mommy. I love you more, Kina. Thank you for everything. I hope I was more comfort to you than trouble. You have earned your rest. Don't be stubborn about it. Drink lots of tea and rest well. Your data of one.
The community of writers has lost one of its greatest members, one who will be extremely difficult to replace. She was my contemporary in the 1960s at Ghana's premier university, the University of Ghana, Lagos. Even though she was 4 years older than me, she was someone with whom I enjoyed friendly and productive relations. Through her work, she made a tremendous contribution to the development of our country and continent and expressed so many of the feelings about our fate as Ghanaians and indeed as Africans. Ama Ata Edu carved a stunning career spanning 7 decades, where she's famed for, quote, taking African literature back to one of its primal origins, unquote. As a tireless advocate for women, it was her belief that women are the first-line educators of our children, our communities, our nations, our region, and our continent, and that we empower our children by empowering our women. She fought against the multitude of hurdles, cultural, economic, religious, and social, that faced women, and urged leaders across the continent, and indeed across the world, to take appropriate actions to implement fully and efficiently commitments needed to improve the welfare of women and girls on the continent, and to all Ghanaians on this great loss. May God bless her and give her soul peaceful rest in the bosom of the Almighty until the last day of the resurrection, when we shall all meet again. Amen.
Edom kuma wonum ewo emrahye bedwam Tama oil refinery kamia esempanifo de ema adwumakuo bi se womo enhwe na womo mfa eni dwuma eno no ye mfie nsia contract na womo esan na sika da so $22 million eno na wode ama womo so womo fanya adwuma saa mfie no ensia na emu no afibia no wombehwe se wombetimi aye adane fanwo no ani na yanya tese petrol num ne gas num ne de tetete saa no wo se afibia wo mutumi ye 8 million barrels na wo mo de ama yen na eno na edonkuma wo mrahye bedwam kire se saa to wo mo de to ema adwumakuo a ye from Torrentco Asset Management Group no enye ne kwan so no wo se wo mo ne mpanimfo tena se wo mo twetwe ho nkomo no mo hunu die na wom de na ensunsuanso boni bi wo ho saa nyoma ni nyina no wo se wo mo tena se na wo mo dwendwene ho ansa enu ti enam so ema ranking member woda mines and energy committee so wo mrahye bedwam no munyamfo John Ginapo akasa de afa ho kire se esese mpanimfo jai ne nani kine ya no mo tena se dwendwene ho ansa na wo matu anamon bia.
We've been following keenly developments at the Tema Oil Refinery. we have become aware of attempts by the Akufo-Addo government to lease the Tema Oil Refinery for a 6-year period to a company known as Torrenco Asset Management Company. Our checks has indicated that this company has no track record when it comes to oil refinery. It has no track record when it comes to the oil sector. And its balance sheet does suggest that it cannot provide the needed support for the Tema Oil Refinery. The Tema Oil Refinery is a strategic asset. It's the only state refinery capable of refining about 45,000 barrels of oil a day. If Tema Oil Refinery is well positioned and strategically positioned, it would result in millions, if not billions, of savings when it comes to import substitution. Unfortunately, the Akufo-Addo-led government has been sleeping on the job and has left the refinery to rot. Having failed to continue with the progress made under Mahama-led administration, they have decided to lease the Tema Oil Refinery to Torrenco Asset Management. And if you read the details of the contract, they are supposed to refine just about 8 million barrels. That is woefully inadequate. We believe that that contract is inimical. That contract will not inure to the benefit of the country. That contract will not benefit the ordinary Ghanaian. That contract does not meet value for money. We are therefore calling on the Akufo-Addo Bawumia-led government to put a halt to this lease agreement, engage further with stakeholders, and ensure that we find a long-lasting solution to the problems confronting TOR. These firefighting approaches will not help the refinery.
Public Enterprises Minister one year and Mashebedweni ewo efia eno ewo atoye mantemu. Onmonyamfo Joseph Kujo ede ato ensentrofo enim akyerɛkyerɛ mu se aban ewo nwumakuo mako bese edunsun bi wo ho a enye adwuma akoye wo haw bi mpo na aba beto oman no so enti aize oman na obo ho ka na nso yenyamfa so bia emfamfiri emu enu nti wo mu gu no ebi wo ho mbegu no ebi wo ho nso a wo mo ebehwe na wo mo aton enti wo kyerɛkyerɛ mu ekyerɛ ensentrofo.
Defunct entities, they are those that are not operating. You may typically say they've been run down, and they are also part of government assets. But the mandate is to oversight SIGA, to intend oversight the active enterprises. Now, if you take the defunct ones and the active ones, 17 defunct as we count on our records now, plus the 175 active, you get 192. And I must say that to get a sense of the size of the portfolio, a 2016 equity holding put government equity means ownership, shares. 2016 record put the equity holding to 35.7 billion, when in fact the GDP of Ghana was just around 230 billion, meaning that government ownership relative to even the GDP was 15%. But in terms of total assets, the specified entities were making up of about a third of the GDP of the country. That is how significant this portfolio is. Restructuring of the active companies. At the policy level, decisions have been made on entities that we intend to liquidate. Liquidate means just collapse them. Well, this comes through our study of their current situation and then making the projection and realizing that they are just siphoning money from government purse and have become liabilities rather than assets. There are some, upon the review, we intend listing them on the stock market because it is possible to get the investing public, Ghanaians, having equity stakes in them. Next corporate action we have planned to undertake as invitation of strategic investors into some of the entities, so that we'll have government sharing ownership with Ghanaian investors who may be interested. And some of them, like I said, the defunct or inactive companies, planned disposal through an appropriate and transparent means to get these liabilities offloaded from government obligations.
Yet was so at the court asetena Emma and some who APM. Now, a sabba a walk court to a namso Emma Edom Kuma, one more Rashabijum, here, one more, say, woman siege, I say, one more and corner or more cotanase, and you Jenny Ghana home a year. On Munya for Dr. Kessel Ato Forsen. Na opanyini wono ena ye dom kuma no ba no dani na asɛm a wɔkɔ to a enipa mienu ɛka ne ho no ɛyɛ asɛm a yɛde ato sɛ wɔne saa enipa mienu ɛka ne ho yi wɔn ahyɛ daa ɛna wɔn abɔ ɔman no ɛka ɛfa ambulance ɛho ɛnsɛnsɛm na so ɔmanfo ɛde wani ɛde akyire yi a asɛm yi free 2014 ɛba 2016 ɛho ɛnsɛm ɛna afei wɔn ɛkɔpie mu ɛwɔ court so wabɔ ɔman no ɛka. Na otemuani a oti edwemu eye Justice Efiasewa Saribotwe na ono eye Justice of the Court of Appeal ena wosan atenase ede ama High Court nti ebeka se wono so wosan eye High Court Judge na no ena Dr. Kisela to force no nimunyamfo ekyere se maami se de wosi edi asem ne kame aye se nyimu abam enti wokọ asetena no nanka wo hwe animu se nioma mienu ena wokọ akọpẹ se court no ede bema no se womo de ne passport ebema no etinka no wo hwe ani mu se proceedings ni be ko application a waye no na nka ye de ne passport ama no na afei se de womo esi eka se mami ayeyimu ase de asem no wo di ekọ nchen no eno ho asem so nka womo ebeka wo ho na abra womo tena se e na Justice Efiasewa Saribotwe e de eto womo nyina anim se ene ye ni asem na ye ntoa so na emom ye tu e de akwakoshe July da eto so aduonu enson ni nyina ne se one ma tro petition de akwakoma Chief Justice Mame Getru tokonu se se de otemuani esi eye na de no wo mpe ne santi anka be ya wo mo ensesa otemuani a wo asem ne so no na we no eye accused person de otoso miensa no ono na wode asem yi de akoto ye Owura Richard Jakpa enkane na se wono na oye Chief Executive Officer Big C Trading LLC eti adwumakuo yi womo na eka ho no kyerese na anu bi a womo ekọ no no oka kire mami se opese okono okowura washum no odwonso na ade no so se ni su ene ne ban a woda na di wo court no ejina so ema Justice Efiasewa Saribotwe nso kyerese da bi se usu no ban bi a woda na di e wo court ha no enya de esefata entu kura washum no kura ne da bi eti na akoye twemamentwe e wo eno ho saa entu ofiri wa na ne wode petition koma Chief Justice say maame na ye bias enti wonhwe na wonyini free asem a omu edie no so na ohuni se otoa so adi a anhwe ya na ensem no se de opese esi ekono anko ne saa enti otu sheda July da etoso aduonu enson ena omu besan akoso se bedru ho no na Chief Justice sigina ye petition no a womu de akono womu ehunu ehun pomesi brebe bi omu de efa we ne ensem a epiemu enra ewo court yatwa ensem no eso ede a wosoafo hwe nkronkuma ne na memuo mpuntuo eso eyo nunyamfo dan kwakubotwe na ono anso na ye enrahye bedwani ewo okre eno ode atu edwase abankra chempanifo na assembly a ebekọ akopiem se district assembly common fund yede ema wonu mu a womo edi dem no se kopiem se omu sika no sa assembly na amfa ma womo ebre a ese so ode ma womo anase bepiemu se bi esika na ye basa anase bibisa no enya de a wobeti asesa sa assembly kro no asotwe a esefata no yede ebema womo woyi asemya no abra emrahye bedwani owo busa south onmunyafo Clementia Park ebisa se sei womo sika asem no ho asem no ene ho nsenkan na te sei na okyirechire mu ekosi sa
without the approval of the Disability Fund Management Committee, the amount expended was 62,000 Ghana cedis. Mr. Speaker, clearly, there is evidence to show that the allocations are not being disbursed transparently and that those who are to benefit are not benefiting. So I want to ask the Minister for Local Government what sanctions he intends to make out to assemblies that misuse or misapply funds that should go to persons with disability. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Right Honourable Speaker, the Honourable Member can be assured that in general and in principle, any misapplication of funds in any of the programs and projects within the ministry, and for no matter any government program, will have to be dealt with based on the Auditor General's report. But more seriously, will be funds that are supposed to be used particularly to support people with disability. That certainly will be unpardonable. And he can be assured that as this Auditor General report are reviewed and single out the districts that might have fallen foul of the law, they will be dealt with.
Yet also Ediana ye call Menshia South and no ewo Asante Mantemo na Pokalo Studio electoral area for HSA ensuo to a yirifa wo papa gata sese ensuo fam mpanimfo ye no kamia ye se enkoso sa enti eyo haw kese
Kumasi krofom ne tie ensuo to amane a ye hu na ha no enya asem keto akrontie se na na ado ena no mso mbe ye kwan busa se na mo be ye gata na ka o se gata ne kan se wonu de wo ye kwan a wonye gata anka ho enti esiro muso mu ye kwan ne de a gata no a enam ebe ni nyina o mu nyina ma ye ne so nya yasomdue
ye betina ne nsuo eni ha se nkene nsuo wo ha se de mabaye yigina mu ya se be so obi eni ho a obesi ni de yasi nsuo abra wonye China ni na de ye besire ne se aban no ye ne ye nsuo te ya no abato no ye tubi Moroma kasro nyina no womaye womaba ha behunu se oyo nepa mu ne yete enso mo ye ho mu nyina wie ya womu di kotal aguso enso ya ha pikas kromo fa me boss enti ebesra ban ne se
ta ha ne yize
ke ehunu ye nsuo de to a ekona nim ni kwa se san ba na chiri saa na ebro no so ha fo ye wo ha nyina nsuo ko obi afi na awura demo Chaban no me o medum ye pa no me boy
flood e wo manteme ha no awa ha che yie before se be assemblyman wa hanom about 8-12 years ago na flood wa ha nyame adom so me penso no me tu ho na mo bebre nyame adom so tu ho na mo ano e ma aban so te asemase e ma ye hyase e na ne no ye hu kotalo crew from proper so fa ho ne ya tama ye gusuro ho na ha ka sa adwuma no ho but me nim de ntia me koye echi a ha kakre gina ha true spirit ese woni street ha yentumi anya mfrasoro ho no because me pension na ye share adwuma na se me nim de ntia ha no mo de ate akam
University of Ghana Medical Center enyamfinhia enum enam so amampanimfo adi HSA hihya ahodo bebre ewo ho a wo mo yese de be yaresabia no ebetumi agina ne naso yi
Clinical trial unit we no mo preso mbetimi anya no wogidi se beboa bibiman no ewa apomuden hwema mu na wo kyerɛ mu a wo se eyade a wo mbetimi address ko akomu ewo ne ngomasua afam na afenhwehwemu fam a ebetimi aboa ewo eye yade no ne nso ano ene enema ekeka ho nyina mehwe treatment ene therapies ne nyina na ensem we nyina no de tudwa na wono mo dan wono faith anniversary celebration no di ewo enkran na eho na owrai ede ensem we nyina no atu edwa na wo kyerɛ mu se nyame adom na sesa state of the art clinical trial unit we no wo ensa kape ebibiman no atuhira kwosra so ene wonum simbegu suru yie pa esan se ebeboa amayade wa bi te se blood pressure diabetes cancer ene yade ahodo a aya na edokoro adasan ahodo ni nyina no wo betimi ede ama eho ayarehwe chief executive officer at my University of Ghana Medical Center Dr. Darius Osei wono ene de ensem we nyina no tudwa wo kyerɛ mu se
uji kwaluru fi wa Ahana, you are the second largest cardiothoracic surgeon. ya already ya ye nipa be 40 open heart surgeries ya ye bi eti yeguso eti ye de sa 5 years e tre wiase na ase bebi a ye fi ni bebi a ye du na mutie ya ye pese ye clinical trials unit mpe bebre no ye nro a ye de sa yare a ye de nipa ana ye de ye na nipa na ye de om ye trials bebre ni fi South Africa no means say sometimes ye de samples no kwa be do on na samples na expire it me ye sa laboratory no wa ha that just say ye be ye sample ni na wa ha ye be trials no wa ha it ya pay for funds na ya pescad ade ayesa dumadi
no for ba ene bibi friend medical devices for ba ni nyina na wo say ye test ni hu say eye adwuma e wo bibifuo mu ana say nye adwuma wo bibifuo mu because in premier no ya na in roni fi abrochire ba na ya starting use but almost hwehwe mu no ni amfa ya nka ho nti ye pese ye ni anga say yetumi e make sure say you betumi attest say nrei e wo Ghana has say any West Africa so na be un say nrei no e ye adwuma wo bifuo mu
kai pass na me ba as a trustee of the COVID-19 trust fund na be chum no mane ade but to ba say that we see hwe enkofo ne ade ene mom de bo Ghana time COVID-19 ba kekra no ehia say ye nyina e ka say ye do mase as Ghanaians because omu asomo mai no 5 years no mas no mai no kakra be ka ne say yangopo nshiro mu omu work staff and medical doctors obi o bia na all contribute towards the success of this hospital. Yes, you do massive. Currently, we move by 1,000 staff. They are now is a wahaya damasi. Doctors are wahaya damasi. Management they ubia or UGMC biano as like a say commamo. No musa ankoso. Emo more day. Emma Hospital in Kosunidi. Currently, it's one of the biggest hospitals in Ghana. Now hospital in Kosunidi. No munkoso. And far from a pa and Ghana for sa.
Aha say na mede kasebo no esie medin de akosia sapon ade chinsroma eto aso